If you're considering buying a home in a country club community like Jupiter Country Club, Mirasol, BallenIsles, Eastpointe, or PGA National Resort, you really need to understand something before buying the home. You need to understand the fee structure, the prices, the structure of the membership itself. It's absolutely crucial to a home buying decision. My name is Casey. I'm a Palm Beach County real estate agent. I'm a realtor who lives right here in Jupiter. I specialize in helping people buy and sell golf course community homes. And I should understand golf course community homes better than any other real estate agent in Palm Beach County, because I work for Nicklaus Realty Group, a family-owned Jack Nicklaus company. I help people compare country club communities every day, and here's the thing, the surprises are in the details. In this video, I'll explain the different types of country club memberships, break down equity versus non-equity clubs, walk through initiation fees and annual dues, and I'll show you how the buying process works when a country club community in Palm Beach County is involved. This will give you a clear framework so you know what questions to ask before you buy a home in a country club community. Before we talk about fees or specific clubs like Jupiter Country Club or PGA National Resort or BallenIsles, we have to take a step back and talk about what different types of memberships there are and what different benefits you get from each type of membership. In Palm Beach County, most country clubs have the same typical structure or types of membership. They just kind of vary by name a little bit. Let's start with the most basic type, social memberships. Social memberships will give you access to things like the dining room, the clubhouse, the events, the galas, stuff like that. The social membership type is offered at a number of clubs around here, but not all of them. Jupiter Country Club, Mirasol, BallenIsles, Eastpointe, and PGA National Resort all have social memberships. This option is attractive for people who want to live in a country club community and have that privacy, but may not play golf and are more interested in the social aspect of living there. But again, not all places offer social memberships. Somewhere like the Bears Club, Loxahatchee Club, or Jupiter Hills Country Club, none of those would have social memberships, at least that I'm aware of. Next up is sports memberships. Now, sports memberships usually include things like tennis, pickleball, access to the weight room and fitness facilities. They may have a limited golf aspect to them. So this is going to be really good for somebody who may want to play some golf, but not a whole lot of golf, but they still want access to all the fitness facilities that a community offers. And some communities even split these down even further, like BallenIsles has a sports membership and then a tennis membership that's separate. So it really does depend on the community. Golf membership, really what most of you watching this video are probably interested in, right? Now, everywhere that we're going to talk about is going to have a golf membership. It's just going to come down to what that membership looks like. You know, something like PGA Resort where there's multiple courses that you can play. So there's some nuance, and it is going to depend on the community with how many courses there are and things like that. But in short, golf membership is going to give you things like priority access to tee time, practice facilities, practice greens. There are some places that have walk-on golf, you know, Loxahatchee would come to mind, Loxahatchee Club. So you do have to ask what your golf membership entails, but this is really why you're watching the video, right? Now, even within a golf membership, communities may have a separate tiered structure for something like full golf, partial golf, or executive golf. So you really kind of have to ask the questions of what type of membership you're getting with your golf membership in a community. So those are the basic membership types. Now let's take a look at how the club is structured. And what I mean by that is equity versus non-equity. All right, let's first take a look at the equity model. This is going to be BallenIsles, Mirasol. They're both equity models. What it means is you're buying a part of the country club. Think of it as a corporation, and you're buying a part of that corporation. So what really comes along with this is voting. You have a stake in this, you get a vote in how the club is run and what you're going to do with the club in the future. And that's a big deal. There is something kind of interesting, I think, that's happened in Palm Beach County when it comes to equity courses over the last handful of years, which is just like a stock, if it goes up in value, If the price of membership goes up in value, your equity goes up. When you go to sell, you could actually profit. So while you are responsible for, assessments and costs and shortfalls, if it's profitable and if you go to sell at a higher price, you can actually make a profit on your house and a price on selling the golf membership. So that's a pretty interesting feature of an equity membership. The other side of that is non-equity memberships. Around here, a non-equity membership, Jupiter Country Club, PGA National Resort, those would be non-equity. So non-equity is kind of the hands-off thing, right? You pay your membership fees, you go to play golf, you don't have to worry about going to meetings or voting on issues. It's just kind of pay to play. All right, I do want to stop here and talk about the age of communities. In Palm Beach County, this becomes a pretty big deal. If you're looking at joining a country club that's been around for a long time, the clubhouse is dated, the facilities are dated, there could be upcoming assessments which you may be on the hook for. Conversely, if you look at something like Jupiter Country Club, was recently built, the odds of an assessment coming up soon are lower because it was recently built. So you do want to find out not only about the overall appearance and when the last renovations were done, but if there are any assessments or anything coming forward before you decide to purchase, you got to ask that question. So the downside to non-equity, we just talked about. If you're an equity club, you can possibly sell at a profit in the future. With non-equity, it's just sunk money. You pay your initiation fee and that's it, your money's gone. There isn't a retained portion that you may get back at the time of sale. But again, every club is different, so you got to find out the rules. So which one is right for you? All right, so equity clubs on the whole, they're going to be more exclusive. Something that you really are going to want to ask is, does the community allow people who do not live in the community to become members of the golf club? If the answer is yes, obviously the membership's going to be larger, it's going to be harder to get tee times, et cetera, et cetera. There are some communities where you have to own the home in the community in order to become part of the golf club. So if having more flexible tee times, smaller crowds, things like that are important to you, that's probably the route that you're going to want to go, and you're going to find that in the equity clubs. So if you want to be an owner and potentially see upside to your investment, you'd probably want to look at something like Mirasol or BallenIsles. If you want to go the non-equity route, you just want to put the money in, pay, and you're done, then you may want to look at something like Jupiter Country Club or PGA National Resort. All right, so now that we know the different types of membership, the question everybody wants to know, tell me about the fees. Tell me how much it costs to join. Tell me how much I got to pay annually. Tell me about all the other fees that are going to come up. It's important when you're looking at a country club community in Palm Beach County and when you're comparing them. All right, initiation fees. In 2026, this spread is wildly massive, folks. And remember, this is in addition to the price that you're going to pay to purchase the home, okay? So off the top of my head, let's see, there's Eastpointe, I think, is $85,000 right now. PGA National is $75,000. Those are going to be on the lower end of the spectrum. Jupiter Country Club, I think, is $100,000 now. Mirasol, BallenIsles, I think those brush up against $300,000. And there are even ones, Admiral's Cove and such, that are in excess of that. So I did create a spreadsheet which breaks down all these fees, which if you want to email me, I can give it to you so you can give it a quick once over and see who charges the most and who charges the least. But my point in all of this is these fees really vary right now. Annual dues, just kind of back of a napkin. Country clubs around Palm Beach County are going to run between $15,000 and $30,000 a year for annual dues. But again, they're going to vary by each one. Then there are the secret fees, things like food and beverage minimums, cart fees, if the practice greens facilities have fees. So you're going to want to get a real detailed breakdown as you look at each country club that you may be interested in. Now again, if you do want to get an overall feel, I put a guide together that shows you the initiation fees and the annual dues of over 40 communities in Palm Beach County. So if that's something that would help you out, you can email me and I'll get a copy right out to you, or you can just click the link below that'll take you to a place where you can download it. All right, now let's talk about the real estate buying process and the country club approval process, because I think this is where a lot of the confusion happens with people that are interested in buying a home inside of a country club community, especially in Palm Beach County. The first is going to be what I call the membership first rule, which is your purchase contract needs to be contingent on your approval for membership. Unless you're buying the home and you're not interested in membership and that's something that's offered, that would be a different situation. But we really need to understand, how long is the wait list? If you're going to buy into here, what's the likelihood that you're going to be able to actually become a member? There's a lot of questions that surround it, but really when you write a purchase contract, as part of the contract, you need to make it contingent on that membership portion. Otherwise, you can end up, buying a home and not being able to become a member. And for some people, if they don't know about that, that can obviously be upsetting. So while we're on that topic, let's just kind of talk about the reality of a wait list right now. It may be that if there's a community you really like, there may be only a sports or a social membership available now, and you'll get put on a wait list. And as somebody gives up their membership, you'll tick up the wait list and hopefully be able to join full golf. But the reality is a whole lot of country clubs in Palm Beach County right now, if they're not sold with the golf membership tied to it, and you have to go on a wait list, these do exist. These absolutely do exist. It's not easy right now to purchase a country club home in Palm Beach County with golf immediately available. That being said, there are plenty of places you can do it. You just kind of gotta sift through stuff a little bit. So what's my role as a real estate agent involved in the purchase of a home in a country club community? Here's where things get confusing. I don't control the membership. The real estate agent has nothing to do with it. You need to meet with the membership director, which I can help you get in contact with and hopefully facilitate some of that for you, but I don't control the membership portion. So I think oftentimes when people are purchasing a home in a country club community, they get a little bit confused on the realtor's role versus the role of the club itself and the membership director. Just know that, we're separate entities. I'm here for the real estate. They're there for the membership. So a really good question to ask, obviously, is do you have to buy a home in a country club community that you're looking at in order to become a member of that country club? Some country clubs allow non-resident members to join, while others require you to own a home to be part of the country club. Let's see, Bear Lakes, Jupiter Country Club, PGA National Resort, they all allow outside members to come in. So again, something really important to note if you're considering buying a home in there. So what happens to your membership when you sell? Look, nobody wants to talk about selling when they're buying, but it's an important question to ask at your time of purchase to understand, if you go to sell, how does this all work? If you're in an equity club around Palm Beach County, some of them, not all, but some of them offer, partial refunds, like 80% of your money. That's, let's see, Mirasol, BallenIsles, and Jonathan's Landing. I think they all offer 80% to come back to you, but it's going to depend on the individual club. So you really got to ask the question up front of, what does it look like when I go to leave? All right, so we covered a lot today. I think I've given you some things to think about. If you're looking for more value, maybe Eastpointe is your place to go. If you want multiple courses, PGA National Resort may be where to go. If you want some kind of exclusive gated community, BallenIsles, Mirasol, that may be somewhere for you to go. There are a lot of different flavors around here. It just depends on your taste and, of course, on your budget. Whether you're interested in a country club community that has a Nicklaus designed course on it or not, I would love to talk to you about your purchase. My office stays at the forefront of everything going on in golf course communities because it's part of the Nicklaus family. We kind of have to. As I mentioned before, if you want to get this breakdown of more than 40 clubs in Palm Beach County with all sorts of different initiation fees and yearly annual dues fees on a nice, concise sheet for you, let me know. You can either email me or, like I said, I'll throw a link below in the description where you can download it. I think it would really help people out if they're interested in country clubs around here to get kind of an apples to apples, 10,000 foot up view. Look, thanks for watching, folks. If you got something out of this video, please like it. It really helps me out. And I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.